19th meeting of the Board of Public Works and Safety. Roll call. Here.
Here.
Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No.
Approval of the minutes of October 29th. Did anyone have a chance to look at those? I didn't. Do I have a motion to defer approval of the minutes?
Motion to defer action?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item A is change order number 1 for the Monroe Lighting Project improvements submitted by Nice Engineering. It's an increase in the cost of the project of $1,989.78. It's for additional concrete sidewalk installation to provide for smooth, safe walk after the project is completed. Do I have a motion approving the change order?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item B, correspondence received from AT&T requesting permission to perform work at 4521 Homan. They're going to be working in the alley at that location behind the American Savings Bank, and they're going to be extending a portion of the customer's conduit. Do I have a motion approving that work?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item C. Why is this NIPSCO? It says BP. Do it as NIPSCO? We have a request from NIPSCO. It looks like they're going to be pruning trees.
Oh, I'm sorry. Normally what they would do is they'd come by on a case-by-case basis, but this year they're just asking for a blanket consent. We really don't have any power to stop them, but that's just, they were asking that we would give them a blanket consent to cut trees. They've already met with Gary Gleason about how the wood will be disposed of. If it's a job where they have time, they will take away the wood. If it's an emergency, like there's a storm, they just cut it and drop it, and we'll have to sort it out later. But I'm just asking the board to please approve that so I can get it to Rick Kalinsky.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve NIPSCO's tree cutting request?
So moved.
Second.
No, that's,
This is something different. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is NIP.
it's just mislabeled.
Okay.
Of course, there's another item C. Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
this is the BP one.
yeah, there should be a BP action as well.
That's had C on it, and this has C on it. This is a request from BP to revise their plans for work that they're going to be doing under the Borman. They're going to be jacking a pipe under the Borman at approximately White Oak Avenue, and they're going to be working on White Oak Avenue in the city of Hammond. Do I have a motion approving those changes? It looks like Dean's already talked to them, and everything looks okay?
Yes, sir. They were having trouble with their bore and jack, and so they converted to horizontal directional drilling.
Okay.
Underneath the head of the boring machine was not following its normal track, so they have to go this way, and they need more time.
Okay. Do I have a motion approving their request?
Motion to approve the request.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item D, correspondence received from Chief of Police John Doty requesting approval of the appointment of Gregory Day as a probationary member of the Hammond Police Department effective May 16, 2016, and a disposal authorization for one vehicle. Do I have a motion approving both of those requests?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item E, correspondence received from Fire Chief Jeff Smith, submitting letters of retirement from Senior Captain Michael Prendergast with service to the city of 30 years, 4 months, 18 days, and Captain Daniel Dowling with service to the city of 30 years, 5 months, and 19 days. Do I have a motion approving those retirements?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item F, we have a rental registration hearing on property located 829 Morris. Carla Stanley, is she in the audience? Isn't this the one that we did last week or the week before?
It is. They sent someone in to, speak on their behalf. The late fee was late fee was added for a total amount of $1,010. And further, we can try to appeal, but it would get before the decision.
We
I thought we set it over because you guys need to
thought maybe
look
there
at
was
something.
two houses on the property. There is not.
So do we need to take any action on this, or?
Is this the one we had the letter?
Yes.
That gentleman came in.
Right, with the
Yes.
but he presented her letter.
He was from Michigan City.
It says the late fees were.
Yeah, I think there's some, I don't think we did. We were
That's the
assessing
reason why I
late-
got,
Right, but are we assessing late fee?
there's only one unit. And then we did assess the late fee, but we did it with the assumption there were 2 units.
There was some concern about, HB involved in the property. I was going off my recollection that it was a house that they were issuing and ended up not being that situation. So it is a single family home. We do not inspect at this point.
So do we change anything that was done last week, or do we maintain the late, well, we should change the late fee to 1 instead of 2, right?
It was for 2 years.
Oh, it's for 2 years? So the recommendation is not to change anything?
Correct, the decision of Stan, gave a amount due of $1,000.
We have 2 then. We didn't do it.
We didn't do anything last
We
week?
didn't write it out. So
These are just my notes.
we didn't actually,
Really?
yeah, so there was no motion on
Yeah.
it previously.
It appears that we never did a motion, so we probably should do it today.
All right, I would request the board make a motion to deny the appeal for 2015 and 2016 and enter an amount of, or affirm the amount of $1,010 for 2 years.
Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item G, rental registration hearing on property located at 3923 177th Street, a Chad Mattery? M-A-T-H-E.
All right, Mr. President, Chad Matheny lives in Yuma, Arizona. However, this board waived his late fee in 2012. He did not register for 14 and 15, did register for 16. Excuse me. I would recommend, based on the failure of Chad Matheny to appear at today's board hearing, that we affirm the late fees for 2015 to the amount of $1,085.
Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item H, rental registration hearing on property located at 2821 Orchard Drive.
Solero, Annette Bantamoy,
Solano
Solero,
or Salerno?
Solero,
Are you
Annette Bantamoy,
related to
property
him?
owner.
Huh?
I own the property.
Your name's Juan?
I did.
She came in from Green Bay.
I'm her father.
Okay.
My name is Juan Solero.
Okay.
I spoke with Kelly Curtis, and she did come all the way from Green Bay. There are 2 units, 2 front, 2, 4 units? 2 units.
There's just two, the other two.
Okay. It's just 2 units, and we would like to have the appeal granted.
Do I have a motion to grant the appeal?
So moved.
Second. Chris, just for clarification, this is for what years?
2016.
Just 16. Okay, so we just still need to register, or are we registered already?
No, they need to be registered.
We need to be registered.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to grant the appeal. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Item I, rental registration hearing on property located at 7218 Tennessee. Cynthia Kirk? Are you Cynthia?
Yes. Okay, I rented out the house because I didn't want to lose it. So the renters didn't have the money to put the water bill in their name. So I said, well, send it to me because I moved in with my daughter. And
When did you rent it?
December,
December of last year?
right,
According to our paperwork, it's been a rental since 2010?
no,
And when did it first become a rental?
December. I mean, I lived there until I fell down a flight of stairs and shattered my shoulder. And then I moved in with my daughter.
So you lived there from 2010 through,
No, I bought the house in '94.
Right, but were the water bills going to Hobart address since 1994?
No, they just started going there when I rented out the house.
You lived in there up until November?
Right. And then I moved in with my daughter because I fell down a flight of stairs. And I thought, well, I can't work and I can't pay, the mortgage.
Where were the water bills going previously?
I
When you were,
can't-
when you were living there, where were the water bills going? To
There.
that home?
There,
Okay. And so you just switched it over to your new home now?
no, I had them coming there until they could afford to pay it and have it turned on in their name.
Okay.
Explain to me why the water bill is being sent to Hobart,
Pardon me?
since the water bill has been mailed to, First Place in Hobart since 1994.
No,
Her water bills are in the owner's name and mailed to West First Place, Hobart, Indiana, since November 29th, 94.
no, that's not true.
We
They
can set this over, we can
check into it because they've all been coming to my house.
Okay.
any further.
Did I give you enough time 1 week?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're gonna set this for status for next week on the 26th so that we can verify what you're telling us,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, the water
We need
department
her-
reports that the bill's been going to Hobart since 1994. I don't know if that's an error on their part, but it's something we can probably clear really quickly. We'll just have them clear that out.
And we will have her come
Right,
back
'cause I
next
moved in
week?
in '94 in the house on 7218 Tennessee.
can you come back next week? Or is that difficult for you?
Oh, to move back?
Oh, no,
Can you come back to the meeting next week?
No, I can come back.
you can, okay. Okay.
So do we have a motion to defer action on this until, what's the date next week?
26.
Motion to defer action on this till the 26th of May.
Motion
Second.
and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item J, rental registration hearing on property located at 2542 Birch, 1962 and a half Hayman Court, and 1743 Stanton. Beth Minetti?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
All right, I have that all 3 of these properties have not been registered for 2006, but were
16, yeah.
2016, but were previously registered.
Yeah, I always registered, I had everything filled out. I totally forgot to bring it in. And I was 2 days late.
You tried to bring it in 2 days
2
late?
days late, and they told me I couldn't pay. She sent me up, and that's when she said, you have to go file an appeal, and you can't pay until, you know. Okay.
We have one unit at 2542 Birch. We have one unit at 1962 and a half Hayden. And we have 3 units at 1743 Stanton.
And she's always been registered prior.
Been registered, no problem with property, no citations, no matter.
Make a motion to waive the late fee, and the 5 units need to be registered for 2016.
Yes, I have all my forms. She just wouldn't accept them when I brought them in, because they were late.
We have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye. You could take care of that today after the
Yeah.
meeting, okay?
Okay, sure.
Item K, correspondence received requesting rental registration hearings. We have 4 of them. When do we want to schedule those? June 30th? Do we have a motion to schedule a rental registration hearings for June 30th?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item L, correspondence received from Chief of Inspections Kelly Kearney regarding the bid award for the demolition of 4615 Johnson.
And Mr. President, if you recall last week, we opened these up last week, and the difference between the 2 bidders was $25. So we are awarding it to the lowest bidder.
Do I have a motion making the award to the low bidder?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Next item is item M, contract with Acton Consulting for the demolition of 4615 Johnson.
Mr. President, that is actually, I misspoke on it, I got the two confused. 4615 Johnson, we actually had to go with the 3rd lowest bidder because the first 2 were unable to comply. And so we are entering into a contract with Acton, the 3rd lowest bidder for 4615 Johnson. The one on Stoller is one of the
Oh. So do we need to redo the motion on the
No,
last
it's
one?
fine. We're still going with the, in this case.
Recommendation. Okay. So we need a motion to approve.
I have a motion.
Motion to approve the contract for Acton Contracting for demolition of 4615 Johnson.
A motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item N, bid award received from Chief of Inspections Kelly Kearney for the demolition of property located at 5639 Soul.
Sorry, I apologize. This is one we opened up last week. They're both hardest hit properties, and they're both going to Acton, so I did get them confused, but they were the lowest bidder on this property.
Motion to
item-
award the bid.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item O is the contract. So we awarded a contract, now we're authorizing signature of the contract, right?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item P is change order 1 from Acton Contracting LLC for demolition of 4615 Johnson.
This is for the removal of some asbestos-containing material that was discovered at the pre-demolition inspection.
So that's an additional $1,200. Do I have a motion approving the change order?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item Q is a contract with IESCO Construction for the demolition of 4608 Cameron, 4614 Cameron, 4938 Hickory, and 849 Willow.
Mr. President, these are all also hardest-hit demolitions, and I would ask you to please approve the contract so they can start working. We need to get them done by June 1st.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item R is an agreement to rehabilitate property at 917 174th Street.
Yeah, Mr. President, this is a property that was affirmed for demolition, and there was a bunch of tire kickers, but now somebody has finally accepted responsibility and will rehabilitate the property.
So what kind of motion do you want? Just
I would ask you to
approve?
please approve it.
Motion to approve the rehab agreement?
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item S, correspondence received from Mr. Gary Gleason, Director of Public Works, requesting permission to auction scrap trucks, equipment, and cars from the Hammond Fire Department on Saturday, June 25th, from 9 to 12, and painting of the curb in the 7400 block of Harrison Avenue on the west side. We have a motion approving those two requests.
Motion to approve, Mr. Gleason's request.
Second?
Motion and second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item T, the interlocal agreement between the City of Hammond Board of Public Works and Safety and City of Hammond by and through its redevelopment commission. This was here a week or two ago, and it wasn't signed by the redevelopment commission, and it's for the sale of 5750 Northcott Avenue. Do I have a motion approving the interlocal agreement?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item U, correspondence received from South Shore Arts requesting barricades be used at an event to be held on Saturday, June 11th on Fayette Street.
Refer this to Gary? We think they're providing a little bit of case.
Yeah, we probably should approve it and send it to Gary, right? Request
There
for
was a
barricades.
Gary Gleason on the bottom.
Did you already look at it?
I saw his name.
It was already approved by Gary or by the board? Then why do we have it
It
back?
it looks like that we already approved the event, but there was not a request for the barricades at that time. So this is additional.
So do we have a motion to refer this to Gary Gleason so that he could provide the barricades?
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item V, correspondence received from Carmen Gonzalez requesting a street closure on June 18th from noon to 10 p.m. for a birthday party. And
What is the street?
I don't know. Does it say? What's the street? Marshall. Marshall, does it say from where to where? The 7100 block of Marshall.
Can you send this to Gary?
So that, we need to approve it and send it over to Gary so that he can provide the barricades for the closure. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Item W, correspondence received from Miss Tommy Garcia, 1312 150th Street, requesting an alley closure for a birthday party from 3 to 9 p.m. May 28th. Do I have a motion approving that with the same requirement that it be referred to Gary so he could provide the closure of the alley?
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item X, request for a resident regarding purchase of the property at 4718 Cameron.
Now, Mr. President, I put this on the Board of Works because I have absolutely no idea. The city of Hammond does own the property, so it's a Board of Works matter. They've owned it since 1988. If there is some master plan for it, nobody's shared it with me in the last 12 years. It's a 25-foot lot, so it's not a buildable lot, and I believe the person who's interested is the adjoining property owner. So I just wanted to put it to the Board of Works. I don't know if the Board of Works knows of any plans for this property or how we even acquired it back in 1988.
Yeah, Typically, we would refer these to engineering and also to Don Novak.
Okay.
He's like the keeper of the property and make sure that there's no need for this, like for future street widening or anything
Right,
like
that's
that.
what I'm saying. So I received the request yesterday, and I figured I'd put a little packet together of what I could find on the property and refer it to Board of Works.
Make a motion to refer this to Don Novak and to the engineering department for review and recommendation.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. Item Y, correspondence received from David Sandquist requesting resident parking only sign to be put back up after removal during road construction. This is at 4604 Henry. It's been a long time since we did Henry. We probably need a motion referring this to Gary.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. We have a bunch of garage sale permits under item Z. You want to review those and make a recommendation?
Moving soon. We have one permit that the address listed is a Munster address. What is today the 19th, or was that yesterday?
Today's
Today's 19th,
right?
so it's today, it's going on right now. Home in Munster.
Yeah, that's in Munster, 8500 block of Holman.
Should we refer this to Munster? Okay.
We have no jurisdiction over that. We should just reject that one.
Yeah, we'll make a motion to approve all the requests,
Except for the
excluding
Munster
the 8535 Holman Avenue Munster request.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. We have a personnel action from the fire chief. Do I have a motion approving it? Want to go take a look at it?
Make a motion to approve the chief's request.
Abstain.
I'll second the motion. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Next is, I've got another matter from other board members. And this is a request from the Downtown Hammond Council for some street closures and have some stuff placed downtown, picnic tables, garbage cans, and barricades. And this is for the 7th Annual Eat, Shop, and Rock on Saturday, June 25th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Do I have a motion approving this and referring it to Gary Gleason?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
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 Next, I have a project coordination contract between the Indiana Department of Transportation and the city of Hammond for the Chicago Street project. And this is an agreement. I think some additional money became available and they're going to allow us to utilize some of this money for advanced clearing of the right-of-way. So I'd like a motion approving the project coordination contract.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Motion passes. Next item is a request from Karen Moratori, representing the George Rogers Clark, and they're requesting permission to fire off 5 to 7 fireworks after the graduation ceremony up at Wolf Lake. They're going to be firing them off at the Calumet Pallet site. So, do I have a motion approving that request or putting any stipulations on it?
Can you send it to review? Does anyone need to review?
How much time do we have? This is a week from tomorrow. So do we want
We'll
to,
have a meeting Thursday morning,
yeah,
and then is there a time frame on there when they're gonna, when the graduation is?
the ceremony is Friday, May 27th, which is a week from tomorrow.
At what time, does it say?
It doesn't say.
Can we approve it? Does it need to go to the fire department or anything?
We probably should have the fire department review it and contact her to make sure there's any stipulations, like who's going to shoot them off? Is it going to be a professional company, or
I believe they would like.
do they have
They would like to
insurance?
know
And
that.
Let's make a motion to approve the request, subject to
Subject,
the
right.
approval of the fire department.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against, motion passes. I think that's it for matters from other board members, unless any of the other two members have anything. Do we have any matters from department heads or their representatives? Do we have any new business? Old business? Meeting's open to the public. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak? I'd like to recognize, we have a couple of council people here in the audience. What? Janet Vanez. I just lost my train of thought. Janet Vanez and Pete Torres. I'm sorry, Janet. I'm retired now, so I slowed down just a little bit. Nobody in the audience wants to say anything? Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, those in favor say aye.